Some call it dangerous, some call it exhilarating. Whatever you want to call it, soaring through the sky without an engine at 10,000 feet is a thrill that not many get to experience. Or just plain get, for that matter.
Some of my most memorable flights, I've been flying in formation with a hawk off my wingtip. God.
Hang gliders. Take the leap. Oh, dude. Humans seem to share a collective dream of soaring above the Earth. What we don't necessarily share is a desire to jump off cliffs to do it. Without wings to lift us off the ground, the only way to truly feel the sensation of flight is hang gliding.
It's all about going out there and using all your senses, smell, sight, hearing, mostly touch, to figure out where there's air going up, and to use that to get higher and higher, fly longer and further. You're out there harnessing something so much bigger than you. You know, using it for recreation and enjoyment, and I guess you could say a spiritual experience.
Oh man, flying through the air, this is freedom. You know, as far back as the ancient Greeks, we have tried to conjure ways of flying without the aid of machines, and that is what hang gliding is. It's about overcoming our bodies, it's about freedom, it's about dreams, it's about defying gravity. It's about not being afraid of heights.
So, Jeff, ready for your lesson? Jeff, good to meet you.
Kevin, good to meet you.
How you feeling?
I'm nervous.
That's quite all right.
What, I should be nervous?
A little bit, yes. It's good for the adrenaline.
It heightens the thrill. Gross. How safe is this?
This is a very safe sport. I mean, a lot of people feel that the heights are going to bother them, that the heights is something that's going to be dangerous. Most people are not really afraid of heights.
Really?
They're afraid of falling. And there's a subtle difference there.
Yes.
Right? The higher you are, the more you can fall, the more likely you can hurt yourself. But in a hang glider, surrounded by the harness, strapped into something that's 6 or 7 times stronger than it needs to be for what it's got to do, the chances of falling out are very slim.
Okay. What powers this? Like, what keeps this up?
Okay, well, basically, the engine is gravity. So the wing is always coming down through the air. And by the shape of the wing, deflecting the air over it, it doesn't stop it from coming down, but it slows it way down.
Okay.
In this particular glider, about 180 feet per minute is the sink rate that is coming down. It's about the same of dropping a sheet of Kleenex, and that's about 180 feet per minute.
That's a great analogy. That eases my mind and my heart.
Right, well, that's what I was telling you earlier. This is a very slow moving sport.
Great. How high are you dropping the Kleenex from?
Well, how high do you want to go?
No, I don't know. Like, I've heard you can do like 18,000 feet with these things,
well,
12,000, 15.
You can, but you have to be in very, very dry conditions to get that kind of altitude. In Ontario, where we are, it's usually a lot more humid and clouds get in the way. And
so how high do you guys go?
We typically float around, on average, 4,000 or 5,000 feet, but we can get around Ontario. We've been to 9,000 or 10,000 feet. It depends on the airspace, right? We can't compete with air traffic, and there's a lot of air traffic in Ontario.
Yeah.
Birds are the only diverse group of vertebrates that have evolved flight. Within the mammals, flight only evolved in bats. We have mammals like flying squirrels. None of those mammals actually fly. in the true sense. And what we mean by flight is an ability to generate lift. Flying squirrels glide, and they glide very well, but they can only glide. They're mammalian hang gliders. Even the smallest primates are heavier than many birds, and so to develop flight for a primate would be very, very difficult. You'd have to shrink a primate down to a very, very small size. The only flying monkeys that will ever exist were the ones from The Wizard of Oz.
We're at the National Research Council Aerodynamics Lab's water tunnel, and we're visualizing the flow of air over a small model of a person in our water tunnel. And we're looking at it to see why a person could not fly. The problem is that, as you can see, the flow going over our mannequin shows that it's totally turbulent, it's separated flow, and there's not enough lift being produced by this flow to support the object in the air. Okay, now instead of our human figure, we have in the water tunnel a Rogallo wing, which is a delta wing shape, and we're using it as an example to show how lift is produced with a simple delta wing. And we can see how the dye leaves the little tube upstream of the wing and flows over the wing in a very tight tornado-like motion, which is creating a region of low pressure above the wing and helping to produce the lift. And this is much different than what we saw on the human shape, which of course was just a totally random flow. A large Rogallo wing moving at sufficient speed would be enough to keep a person aloft.
The Rogallo wing was invented in 1960 by an American engineer aptly named Francis Rogallo. NASA caught wind, so to speak, of the Rogallo wing and used it in experiments for spaceship re-entries. Rogallo had originally invented the wing to create an aircraft that would be so simple and inexpensive that anyone could use it. Ironically, two of the most complex and expensive flying machines evolved from the design of the Delta wing, the Concorde and the Space Shuttle. In the early 1970s, thrill seekers heard about the Rogallo wing and the sport of hang gliding was born. For humans, getting airborne was no longer a problem. It was staying in the air that was a bit of a hiccup.
When hang gliders talk about taking a flight, they talk about basically two types of conditions. There is soarable and not soarable, and these two conditions can make the difference between a beautiful flight with lots of distance and speed and height and the dreaded sled run, which had me nervous, but apparently is not as bad as it sounds. It just means you don't have enough lift to stay up, so you have to descend. Under control, though, apparently, hopefully. Now, to understand how a hang glider's wings work, you have to understand how to do battle with the air. If you are a hang glider, every move the air makes has a drastic effect on your flight.
Soaring flight can usually be sustained through thermals, and I'm not talking about long johns. A thermal is simply a column of surface air that has been heated by the sun, which rises because it's warmer than the surrounding air. Hang glider pilots can often locate a potential spot for a thermal because these surfaces are darker colored, and they heat up easily in the sun. As the air above these spots is heated, it rises, forming a thermal lift which is used to gain height. Thermals can rise thousands of feet, and hang glider pilots use them to achieve cross-country flights. Now, another type of lift is called ridge lift. This is air that is forced to rise up over a hill or a cliff. Because the hill is an immovable object, wind travels up and over it, therefore creating a band of rising air in front of it. By understanding these principles, and by strapping a big old Rogallo wing to their back, simple, unencumbered bird-like flight was available to anyone who wanted it. Anyone who had the guts to try it. For those creatures lucky enough, flying provides many advantages: increased mobility, faster escape from predators, more effective hunting and fighting, and greater ease in finding food. And even though the human body is, let's face it, hopelessly flightless, the idea of unassisted flight remains deep in our psyche. One person who was determined to reach the skies was the Renaissance man himself, the maestro, Leonardo da Vinci. Although Da Vinci is known across the globe for his paintings of the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, he was also a master inventor, scientist, and draftsman. Da Vinci sketched several types of flying machines: the helical wing, beating wings, parachutes, and the bat's wing. The question that always comes up regarding Leonardo and his flying machines is, did they actually work? Did Leonardo da Vinci fly? The bird's eye view of some of his painted landscapes are sometimes cited as proof of Leonardo's success. Well, one person who did manage to get airborne was Otto Lilienthal, known in his homeland of Germany as the Glider King! A pioneer of human aviation, Otto is often credited with building the first successful human-carrying glider. The King made over 2,000 flights in his glider between 1891 and 1896. And then it happened. Poor Otto. On the 9th of August, 1896, a gust of wind fractured his wing and he fell from a height of 17 meters, breaking his spine. He died the next morning, saying, "Sacrifices must be made." The popularity of hang gliding around the world cannot be expressed without mentioning the Mueller family. Willie Mueller and his son Chris were both expert hang gliders, constantly pushing the limits and showing just how graceful the sport could be. Willie Mueller founded his Canadian company Mueller Wind Sports in 1973 and promoted safety and awareness wherever he went.
Willie Mueller was the man that was promoting and supporting hang gliding in Canada, and he was on the leading edge of it all the time.
Sadly, both Willie and Chris perished in separate hang gliding incidents, but the heights they reached inspire pilots even today.
The Muellers have taught everybody in the world a lot about hang gliding, and we'll support their initiative and continue on to make this sport as safe as we can. Back in the early 70s when hang gliding first started, it was a wild man sport at that point. We were flying with very limited equipment. We were doing 7 flights a day, sometimes 8 flights a day, and we'd take off the back of Saddle Mountain. You see here in the background is our favorite flying site, and the idea was to go up that mountain as many times in one day as we could. This is my hang glider that I bought in 1976. It's a Eagle Delta 1917. It actually had the right hardware, but it didn't have the right design. The design itself was faulty in a number of ways because it wasn't stable. When you put this glider into a dive, the air could actually start whipping through the sail like this, and it would go into what we call a luff dive. So the gliders could fall sideways or else go into straight dives, and it was a scary sound because you just hear the sail going like that as it coming straight down the ground. One day, I was so excited because I seen a glider started soaring, and I'd never seen anything like that, going up with the birds, and I thought, this is what it's all about. And went racing off the edge, and I wasn't hooked into the glider. And so now I went for a big fall, hung onto the glider as best I could, and still got the helmet that I just started wearing. Saved my life as a memory. I keep it around. I show all the students.
Safety is a hang glider pilot's #1 concern. It's certainly mine. Cool. Foot through. Feeling good.
The other thing which you don't have, but you can see the pouch for it here, is a parachute. In case you were to ever have significant problems in the sky, we carry a reserve parachute that's designed to bring everything down. Pilot, glider, everything.
Here we go.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the control now. To make the glider go faster, you want to bring the nose down and cause it to accelerate.
So I would go like this.
That's right. Now you're into a dive. And remember, eventually you'll get to about, in this glider, maybe 50 miles an hour, where the glider says,
and then it'll pick it up.
That says, that's too fast, I don't want to go any faster, it's going to pull out of the dive. Now let's say you want to do a little bit of a turn. You're going to turn to the right.
Okay,
You're riding a bike, no hands. Which way do you lean to make a turn to the right?
I would lean this way.
That's right. You want to lean into the turn. And what that does is now make that wing, the right wing, a little bit
lower.
A little bit lower. So it's going to get a little heavier and it's going to bank that way.
Does it matter if your whole body, does it matter if my body's pivoting a bit?
Yes, it does. The weight is the center up through your hips.
Yeah.
You want the glider to feel your weight shift. If all you're doing is twisting, you're not letting the glider feel any weight shift.
So you've got to move in the aircraft.
That's right. You've got to think with your hips because that's where the center of your mass is, and that's what the glider is going to feel.
So again, with the height, because of the sensation of hanging here, I do have a bit of a thing.
Yeah, well, do you feel at all that you could fall out of what you're hooked into right now?
I don't right now, no.
Right.
So I'm not 6,000 feet in the air.
Well, the thing about hang gliding, especially the way we do it with the ultralight, is that altitude sneaks up on you slowly, right? It's not a sudden thing.
It's not like jumping off a cliff.
No, we're going to start with your face right in the grass, and you're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to get to 2,500 feet.
Nice.
So it's a nice slow progression. So the view just goes from good to awesome, right? I mean, you start to lose the fear of the height.
That's good. I'm feeling psyched now. I was a little nervous before, went a little easy on lunch, but now I'm psyched and I am ready. Let's do it. Let's go flying, man. Let's go flying.
Welcome to the 2005 Canadian Nationals, one of the most competitive hang gliding meets in the country. For 7 days, hang gliders from across North America come to Lumbee to compete in a cross-country hang gliding race.
We have 40 of Canada's top hang glider pilots, and there's people here from Quebec and Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia, and a few have come up from the States as well. No tools required, just slide right in. When we get up to launch every day, we pick what course we're going to do, and everybody programs that route into their GPS.
The GPS systems, which each hang glider now carries, mark the routes, and the pilot with the best flight time will be crowned the champion.
This is lined up so it's pointed into the airstream, and so I can see it. And operate it all while I'm flying.
Pilot meeting! So launch opens at 1 o'clock. It's now 1:45, so you got 15 minutes to get ready. We don't jump, we launch. It is a leap of faith. You have to have faith in your equipment.
Make sure the glider's pre-flighted, all the equipment's ready to go. That's the big stuff I'm thinking about right now. Then the next thing is when's the good time to launch? Try and get at the front of the line so you can get out early, but you don't want to go too early if the lift isn't good, but you don't want to be behind everybody either.
We like all competitors to launch into the same conditions, so it is a true race. We're expected to go up to about 10,000 feet today, which will take us almost below freezing. So it might be hot and sunny on the launch here, but you'll see everybody bundling up to expect the cold conditions up at Cloud Base.
Please, please, please be gentle. It's my first time.
I'll try.
Okay. Is that too close? Does that make you uncomfortable?
A little close.
Yeah, a little close for me too.
I've had some of my most memorable flights.
Yeah.
I've been flying in formation with a hawk off my wingtip.
Oh, God.
Close enough, you can make eye contact.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just
They don't
just
get
awesome.
aggressive with you or anything, or try to mate.
No, it was a friendly one.
Yeah. Why do they keep walking the thing further away?
See, the further back we start, the better opportunity is to, if you have a premature release or a weak link failure on launch, that you can just land right back on the runway or be high enough to turn around and come back and make it to the runway. You don't ever want to be really low over trees or grass or dirt, where the only place to land if you have a problem is in stuff you don't want to land in. This is what's pulling us.
Oh, please. Please.
Actually,
No, it's like dental floss.
no, but think about it. If that's all it takes, think how easy it
It
is.
flies easily.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
It's that
Somewhere
easy.
in the midst
This
of
isn't-
just, oh my God.
Right, all this is doing is pulling the glider through the air.
Yeah.
The glider is doing the lifting. It's what's holding all the weight.
Right.
So even though you and Ken and the glider combined probably get close to 400 pounds, it only takes about 80 pounds to pull it through the air.
Team. All right. Oh, I didn't put my foot in. I'm making errors already. There we go. Nice. Should have worn my briefs today. Boxers are not good, huh? What do you do, boxers or briefs? Never mind. Ah! Oh, yeah! Oh, wow. Oh my God. Ken, it's so beautiful, man.
See, with the sun out, we get more turbulence.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what's that? Yeehaw! It's just heating up the ground, and that's what's giving us these bumps, huh?
That's right. No big deal.
No?
It just makes me work a little bit.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Just hang on, relax. We're about 1,300 feet.
Oh no! Madness! Surreal view. It's insane, but not scary. You're hooked. Oh, yeah.
As I continue being uncomfortably close to Ken, the competitors in Lumby, BC finally get back to the landing zone, hoping they score full points for getting the best time on their somewhat arduous 62-kilometer journey. With 3 days of competing left, the pilots review their flights.
The air that you fly in you can't see, so a lot of it is based on experience. You know, you kind of have to relax, not try too hard, and just trust your instincts. I was in the lead for a long time, and I was pretty happy how things were going, but then, of course, there's always one last test. I was pretty sure a lot of guys would have passed me, and then I found this light thermal that I could just maintain and drift with, and I pretty much drifted all the way back on course. I was so unlucky, but now I feel pretty lucky again, so a great day of flying here in the Okanagan.
I was just over 3 hours, about 3 hours and 2 minutes. Just exhausted. Looking forward to maybe having a beer or something. No, it was great.
Yeah! No, we may not have wings, but we have brains, we have courage. And with those, oh, dude, we can fly. Can we go again? Can we go again? Let's go again.